Sam Altman's orbs are waiting for you if you go to a new store that just opened up in San Francisco's Union Square district. You can go into the orb store. And what is an orb? It is part of World, which is formerly Worldcoin. This is essentially a flagship store that they're opening in downtown San Francisco. One of 8. I know that they're opening more than one. I can't remember how many other ones that they plan on opening, but six U.S. locations are opening up to allow you to go in and peer into these futuristic orbs in order to get an iris scan, so to scan your eyes, to verify your humanity in a world that is, as we know, swimming in advanced artificial intelligence. And join the real human network is the tagline for this. And of course, people are saying, dystopia!
So I'll get 2 questions. First, are you going to go do it?
I don't know. I'm curious. Like, I know San Francisco sounds like it's super close. It's definitely a trek for me. You know, it's going to take me an hour and a half to go each way.
On the way to I.O.
Yeah, it's true. I could do it on the way to I.O. or on the way back.
Yeah.
Get my iris scan. I don't know. Is there a reason that I shouldn't do this? I mean, I know that privacy experts would say biometric, storing your biometric data. Do you really want to do that? You know, that would be my hesitancy.
So here's the thing about this. I at the point where Altman's right that we need something that verifies human existence in public discourse and public interchange. Mm-hmm. But is he the one who should do it? Is a Fakakta crypto-related company the one that should do it? Wouldn't it make more? Well, I was going to say it would make more sense of the postal department, but God knows where that's going these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Whom would we trust to be an agent of verified identity? This does go back. I mean, when I used to help organize, believe it or not, conferences on the future of the postal department. Postal Vision 2020. There were about 4 or 5 of those conferences. And one of the opportunities we talked about a lot for the future of the USPS was that it could be an identity verification entity, authority, right? And I think more and more, the more that AI makes stuff and jams the internet with it, the more we need a mechanism to say, no, it's me, it's verifiable me, I'm talking now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to do that. I mean, in a weird way, ICANN has taken up a bit of that accidentally, not through their own planning. But if you go to Mastodon or if you go to Blue Sky and you verify yourself, you do it by verifying through the domain that you own and that people trust that that's actually you making the stuff there. So I'm buzzmachine.com and I have jeffjarvis.com. And if you trust that I am, in fact, the human being who is doing that, and I haven't gotten around to doing this, but if I showed up using that domain on both, I think I actually did do it on Mastodon. I haven't done it yet on Blue Sky. Then you have to make a judgment that, yes, I know there's a domain and I know Jeff Jarvis is the one doing it. And yes, okay, so if that shows up here, that's him. That's kind of the closest thing we have right now to that kind of verification. And I think we need it ever more. So I might do it for that reason, but yeah, I just don't trust. It's not just Altman. It's the connection to crypto that gives me the creepos.
That is, yeah, right. That ends up being kind of the kind of tricky thing for me too, where I'm like, oh, really? Okay. But, you know, you raise the question, like, is Altman the right person to do it? And absolutely, that's an absolutely fair question to ask. Is anyone I mean, I'm not saying that he's the right person to do it, but he's one of the people doing it versus not doing it. And so is anyone the right person to do it?
Well, is any company. I mean, there was a time, 5 years ago where I would have thought Google or Amazon might be trusted to do it. But now they've got cooties. And I don't know.
Go deep enough, probably any of these big tech companies have cooties.
Yeah.
You know, you dig deep enough, you're probably going to find some reason to not trust them with something as critical as biometric data storage and all that kind of stuff. So then it just depends on whether you feel it's necessary to have it and that the risk is you're willing to take the risk. to have.
Or is it something that we think that a new and independent, non-governmental, non-corporate entity should be started as an identity verification authority with some security of your identity, but also some measure of privacy and control. And
Can we build it with that in mind, with some sort of community involvement, so that it's built with us in mind instead of built from the frame of Sam Altman and whatever it is that he stands to gain out of something like this, being the person in control and in power of this particular technology.
So that makes me think that what Altman should do is donate the technology. I don't know how he's planning to make money with Orb, but if he's not planning to, if it itself is not the center of a profit structure, and by the way, if it were the center of a profit structure, profiting off my identity, I don't know. So it strikes me it needs to be an ICANN-like organization, and I'm not sure what else is of that size. And in essence, the ITU, the International Telecommunications Union, has some role in that. The FCC has some role in that when it comes to broadcast outlets. I wouldn't trust my phone company either. I don't like them. I wouldn't trust my cable company.
Oh God, could you imagine Comcast?
Right.
No, thank you.
My TV screen right now, of course, is the Vatican's. Maybe they should do it. I don't know. But that brings some baggage too for some folks.
I think it all does.
Yeah, it all does. But I think we do need, point of all this once again, we do need some verification of identity. Now, the risk to verified identity when it becomes required, if you live in a country like China, is that there's no opportunity for anonymity if it's required, and thus freedom of expression is severely limited. So even having verified identity is a threat.
Right.
It's in those circumstances. If you find yourself in a totalitarian regime, and hey, it could happen anywhere, then to be able to undertake certain activities, having to have verified identity becomes a threat. And this is the problem with the UK right now and Florida right now, and access to porn. When you go and verify your age for those purposes, you're also registering as a porn fan, not fun in itself, and you become vulnerable to all kinds of other identity theft.
If cultural norms around pornography change and shift, and suddenly the administration decides, that is something that we want to litigate around and criminalize or whatever. Now suddenly they have an immediate pool of people to go after, and that wasn't the case when you signed up for the verification, but now it is.
Right.
And oops, can't put the genie back in the bottle there. Yeah, it carries a lot of risk.
Also, is Orb on blockchain? I think it is. Yes, a decentralized layer 3 blockchain designed, right? So the other issue there is that thus there is that sounds secure, but that also means there's no erasing. And I don't know.
There's so much I don't understand about blockchain, and I've tried.
I've
had so many explainers.
It's an interesting protocol. I don't want to say it's technology, but it's an interesting standard. But it raises, number one, environmental concerns, but number two, cultural concerns, because these jerks with all the cryptocurrency that's associated with blockchain, it's not all blockchain, but it's associated with it, becomes an issue. This is not for our show to discuss, but this week I was looking, and there was a big crypto party in, was it Dubai, I think? Yeah, Dubai. And then Trump's having his crypto dinners. The folks hanging around crypto, thus blockchain, are creeps. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, don't write me. Don't write Jason.
Right.
You're not all. But I'm saying
all,
the reputation is taking of those technologies takes a hit by association.
Yeah, there's definitely a stinker on the reputation.
Yeah.
And then there's the Melania coin. I think I saw the news there that right before, the 2 minutes before that launched, there were a bunch of people that got in before it was announced necessarily, and then they ended up making massive amounts of millions of dollars. There's just, it's just a strange thing to hook your wagon to, And yet I think blockchain fans, people who are, or rather blockchain stans, would say there are plenty of really, useful
Absolutely.
applications for a protocol like blockchain that have nothing to do with crypto.
Absolutely. In two of my books, I wrote about what an idea I have that to update copyright with something I call credit rate, where you can note people's contribution to a string of creativity and thus allow, but not require, compensation or deals or whatever, right? That is just tailor-made. I wrote that before I knew about blockchain, but it's tailor-made for something like the blockchain. There's tons of uses for it. A lot of people are trying to put journalism on the blockchain so that it can't be censored, though it also gets erased.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So yeah, I'm not against blockchain, and even crypto in theory is okay, but in cultural,
right. Yeah, just ends up being
all right. So after all of this,
or insider trading,
are you going to stop on the way back from IO?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious, but I'm still hesitant. I'm still hesitant to go in there and go over and hand over my iris scan.
I think
at the same time, how many dumb ways have I given up my identity online as is? Absolutely. So it's kind of like, is it just too late? And like I'm putting up a stink when it really doesn't matter in the long run. I don't know. It feels like a different thing, though. It feels like something that I should scrutinize a little deeper.
Well, I'd be very curious to, at the very least, walk in and hear the pitch.
Yeah, and kind of see the technology and get the energy of the room, and that's why the Wired story was a fun kind of thing to, they had lots of really great pictures of like what the environment was like, and you get a total like Silicon Valley tech bro vibe about it, which is kind of unsurprising, to be honest. Visa,
and you get what, $40 in crypto.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's, just think of what that's going to grow to. Visa, Match, Tinder, all partners of this, dating, online dating. That's a big one. Like, verify you're a human. So yeah, I agree. There are obvious reasons for something like this to exist. I just don't know that I'm warm to it yet.